Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 9 of 12 of the PSGL F1 here at the United States Grand Prix. It is the Circuit of the Americas, and it is the top tier on the PlayStation. Arguably the best league on PlayStation beyond F1 esports. My name is Austin Smith, and before I introduce my co-commentator, as always, for this tier and for this race, let's quickly go over what happened last week in a race that kicked off near the end and got very, very crazy. It was, of course, CIG Timon who won that race at Singapore, and joining him on the podium were Sparks and Aero, with Domi, Matthijs, Vassaracer, Ashbest, Gil, Wouters, and Casper being the other point scorers. Driver of the day was Aero, finishing in third. One correction here to note, Aero no longer with Shizou. He has now joined VSR. He left Shizou, I think, 2 days ago, and has announced today that he has joined VSR, but he will remain in the Racing Point for the season, obviously. Driver standings, I think that's what everyone's looking for right now. With only 4 races left in the season, CIG Sparks has a 31-point lead over CIG Timon. Juiced and Vouchers are tied for third, Juiced winning on the tiebreaker. Then we have Jordan in 5th with 38 points, Aero 6th, Blizzard 7, Gamer 8, Domi 9, Vast Racer 10. You see the scores right there. In the team standings, we have Haas obviously leading the way now. 28 points the gap to Williams, and then another 16, so 44 to Alfa Romeo. Gets really close there. Alfa Romeo, Racing Point, Mercedes, the battle over third place, only 6 points between all 3 of those teams. And then we have, of course, AlphaTauri, Renault, Red Bull, Ferrari, and McLaren near the bottom. Let's introduce the track today. It is the Circuit of the Americas near Austin, the city that was named after me, as I always like to say. The soft tire here, much quicker than mediums or hards. However, there are some temperature issues with the soft tire. 1.3 seconds the gap there, 0.7 seconds between the mediums and the hards. Expect all drivers to use the soft at some point. The hard or the medium will be the second tire they use. Which one we will see. I think the soft to medium might be a bit trickier at this 5.5 kilometer long track, 20 corners, and only 18 seconds lost in the pit lane. But with a 50% race, very unlikely that we see a 2-stop. And with that, let us introduce the man, the myth, the legend, the commentator of PSGL, the voice of PSGL. It is, of course, Owen Wyatt and his airplane in the background. Owen, how excited are you for this race?
Hello, Austin. Hello, viewers. Yes, I'm back. Internet's working again. Airplane still in the background. And we are here in the US today, looking forward to a good race. Obviously, you're maybe looking forward to a bit more, as you've already said, named after yourself, this place. But certainly I'm looking forward to this race. We are waiting for one more driver to get in, I believe, before we can start. But yeah, can't wait for this one. We had some good fighting in this one last year, a lot with strategy. I think the clip was uploaded earlier on the PSGL Twitter. You might have seen it. Lots of good opportunity for strategy and fighting around here, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they all get on.
Yeah, and one thing that I would like to look at that I find very, very interesting, one corner where I think we might see some action, which, obviously turn 12, turn 1, turn 11, those are the corners where you would expect something to happen. But my favorite corner of this track has to be turn 15, that long left-hander that just turns in more and more, gets tighter and tighter. And what we often see is that drivers like to take a wide entry and then cut inside to get as much speed as possible through the triple right-hander of 16, 17, and 18. But that leaves the door open down the inside for the shorter run to then maybe make an overtake happen. It is something that I really, really enjoy seeing. We see this in really all levels of F1 league racing, whether that's the sort of PSGL F11 or the F1 or PCGL or Xbox or wherever. We always see this sort of stuff, that in turn 15 there's some action going on, 1 or 2 daring overtakes a race. Not that many, but a little bit of a surprise move can always happen there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great course. It's a great track for racing. Actually, it's one where we've seen multiple times over the years. Actually, this one, it doesn't really matter with the ERS. Sometimes you can just put those launches in. That's good. That's why I'm looking forward to this one. It really will be one where hopefully they do put their elbows out because it certainly allows you to. But we are getting ready to start this qualifying session. Don't know about weather or anything, but if it's dry, we're expecting somewhere in 34s, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, sounds about right. As we're still on the race info screen, but there we go. We have waited for another driver who did not show up, so
He will be here soon. Well, we can't tell you what he's doing, but he will be
I
here.
think I know. I don't know,
It's a
but I
common
think
problem in this league, but
yeah, okay.
yeah, he's coming. Though. He's
We
coming.
don't need to go into detail, I think. But yeah, one thing to note, as you may see, I mentioned it before, but Arrow, if you're wondering why did Austin mention that Arrow is with VSR when his gamer tag is still Shazoo? Well, he's part of the F1 Esports Challengers, and he doesn't know whether he is allowed to change his gamer tag or not. He's still waiting. He's trying to get contact with someone at F1 Esports to get confirmation whether he's allowed to change his gamer tag or not. But it is rather likely. But he hasn't changed it yet, but he is part of VSR, so that's something to keep in mind. No longer a Shazoo driver there. As who was the first one out on track? That looks to me like it's one of the Williams.
Jordan.
Yeah,
Jordan,
of course. He's always one of the first ones out there, isn't he?
He's an eager one, isn't he?
Yeah.
Worth pointing out, we have got VSR Leo on track. This is only to put his setup on to make sure it's all working fine because he is suffering a quali ban today after, well, I'm assuming it's the incident that he had at the penultimate corner last week. Obviously, I missed the race because I disconnected by this point, but he had caused an issue. And yes, he's got a quali ban for that. So he will be starting at the back. This is just an installation lap. He will be coming in.
Yeah, I mean, safe to say that this incident was all over Twitter and sparked quite a few discussions and controversies. But yeah, he did get a qualifying ban for that. Lost the rear at the exit of the penultimate corner in Singapore, and unfortunately collected a CRG Gamer in the process. So hence a qualifying ban for him, as Jordan is going to take us around this 5.5 kilometer long lap, and we see uphill right here. This is one of the most beautiful looks that you can get, I think, on the F1 game. Up towards turn 1, hairpin, you go downwards, turn 2, try to make it as tight as possible. Through the S's here, gets really, really tight. You have to be really careful here. You don't want to run too wide anywhere. Still, this is where it absolutely kills the front tires. Both of them. Pretty much equally. These S's all the way to here. This is where they start cooling down a little bit through the hairpin. As much speed as possible through here because this is the longest straight on this track. DRS zone, this is going to be the prime overtaking opportunity in the race. And then we're heading towards the slow final sector. Heaviest braking zone right here. Take a wide entry. Can take a little bit more curve than usual here. And now right and left and much more right coming after that. This is the corner we were talking about. It cuts in and you want to carry as much speed as possible through here. Triple right hander, it goes flat out. Stay tight to the inside there because you want to open up the next corner here. This is a tricky one. A lot of invalidations on this penultimate corner. Final corner for Jordan, and he comes across the line with a 1 minute 28.9.
Yeah, it's not a 34, is it?
Yeah.
Right. Well, ignore what I said then. I must have the complete wrong track in my mind. His teammates beating him. Juiced up into P1 and then Arrow up into P1. It's already close.
Yeah, and I think next one's Recon. Next one is Recon, 29.4. We're trying to get them all in, but we can't get all of them in. Ashbest coming around the final corner. Matai's P4. Ashbest P5. I'm going to have to skip them a little bit here, unfortunately. Gil now P8. I think he got his first points last race of the season, 29.5. We mentioned before he was struggling a little bit as Ferrari aborts his lap.
That's P1.
Yeah, last race to P1. Blizzard coming around the final corner, and that's P1, 28.8. the first one to get that a little bit faster. Next one should be another Ferrari. That was Dario, and then Wouters, exactly. And Wouters P8, and now there's an Alfa Romeo. That must be Timon, the race winner from last week. He comes, and it is a 128.8. Beats Blizzard by about 5 thousandths of a second.
Wonderful, isn't it? Top 6, all within a tenth of a second. Already nice and close up there, but Timon is the one with the early advantage. I don't know if Dario's going again. I think he might be actually going again.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So we'll follow him round because he is the only one on a lap at the minute.
Yeah,
he's probably just doing their end laps.
Needs to be said though, this is tricky. I mean, we talked about at the start the tire temperature issues with the soft tires in the race. You don't want to put any more strain on them than you have to. So, a bit surprised to see him go again. I think
he might just want the banker. I'm sure he can go quicker later on.
Yeah, possibly.
Because I'm sure, I mean, it's only a quarter of a second between that top 9, so you'd expect it to get much quicker. So if anything, this lap might just really be installation. He's got a time on the board to, to look back on and think, okay, I've got that. But it just won't be as fast as time today. I hope, anyway, as he comes through the last few corners now. Bit of understeer on the way in, could easily, as you say, invalidate your lap there at that penultimate corner. And a lot of oversteer on the exit, as Dario is the slowest of the drivers who have set a lap so far.
Yeah, meanwhile, we can look at CRG Gamer, who is on his way out of the pits. He is the first one to exit the pits there. For his second run after his first run didn't really pan out. He did invalidate, and as such, did not set a lap time just yet. As we are, let me quickly look here. Yeah, there's a lot of cars in the pit lane right now, as you can see. Only Timon, Casper, Dario, now Ferrari as well, and Gamer, the only ones out on track right now. It sort of ebbs and flows always in these qualifying sessions because they have up to 4 sets of soft tires, 3 to 4 sets, depending on the tire choice. Sometimes 2, if they do go for the harder distribution, but they generally don't, especially not around here. Or really anywhere, to be quite honest. Maybe China would be one of the spots where you would probably go for the harder distribution, simply because the soft tire doesn't last at all in the race there. But it's generally that we have 3 to 4 runs, and they all come out sort of in waves at the same time as Gamer now heads towards the final corner. One thing to note is you're not allowed really to invalidate in these final 2 corners, or your next lap gets invalidated as well. So they have to be really careful here, even before the lap starts.
Yeah, absolutely, and luckily Gamer has done that. Bit of a slide though at the final corner might have affected his run up towards turn 1, but he, a bit like Dario, will just be focused on getting a lap in at the moment. These S is obviously quite difficult to get through here right and validating sometimes when you're pushing the limits, and you can see he's going right up to the white line, leaving absolutely nothing on the table. Look at his gearing for here. I've noticed a few people aren't really wanting to shift down as low as 3rd because it can have such a massive effect on the oversteer and the wheel spin, and even early shifting up to 5th as well for Gamer. So it's something that worth looking at, the gearing through there, because it really is a tire killer. And look at that, the oversteer on the exit, the wheel spin. It's incredible around here. That's why they're having to protect the tires as much as they can early on. And even then, they're still struggling.
Yeah, and that corner is about the worst corner to get a bad exit out of, because as mentioned, this is the longest straight that follows, and any time lost there on exit just pulls through the whole straight, because if you're down 20 kilometers an hour at the start, well, you're going to be down about 5 to 10 at the end still. And it really just hurts so much. You lose so much time there. And looking at the sector time, we can see it. Gamer, in the first sector, lost 0.03 of a second to Timon in the lead. Second sector, he lost 0.4.
Yeah, and we'll see. He doesn't have much oversteer on the exit. He should get a time in. It's not the best in the world, and like you said, at 0.4, we saw it all disappear in that middle sector. He knows he's got time to improve, and well, that 0.4, that puts him in of a chance at the top 6. But it is a 10th of a second separating that whole top 6. It really will be tough to get in there, actually. But let's go find some more people on lap, shall we?
F1 Ferrari is on one right now. Yes, he's going to be the next one to cross the line. And the first 2 sectors looking good, about 0.2 down on time, and not even less than that. Where does he put himself? P8. That's about 0.2, well, 10.5 behind Timon. So Really all lost in the middle sector again. That seems to be really where you have sort of the good being separated from the great, as Jordan now goes P1 with not so much of a good middle sector. Actually lost 2/10 to time in there, but the final sector was magnificent. 28.8. No one else did a 28.8, barely a 28.9. And Sparks immediately beats him.
I don't know if you saw that. Did you see what he did there, Austin?
No.
He stayed off the track the whole way to the line. He went wide at the final corner. And just straight lined it off the track to the line. That's clever. I like that. That's innovation. You can't get done for track limits if you never come back on, can you? That's a nice exploit. I'm a fan of that. But sadly, I've caught you doing that now. So if anyone questions it, you're in trouble.
Uh-oh.
I'll keep it on the quiet. I'll pretend I didn't see it because it's clever.
I think we have about probably at least 50 people in the chat right now who might have heard you say that. So, including probably Connor, the admin of the league. So, you know, if you wanted to keep it on the down low, that's not how to do it. But meanwhile, let's look at Juice. He's got a purple first, 23.9, about 10th and a half quicker than Sparks in the first sector. But as we said, the middle sector is where it needs to be good. Timon, actually, hold on. Timon is actually quicker as well. And he's a little bit further into his lap. So Timon might be the one to look at. He has Juice, also has invalidated, so we don't need to look at him anymore. And there goes, Timon. He invalidates on the turn 19. We look at Wouters now, purple first, 10th and a half up on Sparks. That is so unfortunate. Timon is also looking to improve. Timon did invalidate, I forgot, sorry. Yeah, no one else really. Casper up to P9 right now, but Wouters is the one improving at 10th. That would be good enough for P8 right now, but that middle sector, not really what he was looking for. Lost 3/10.
We might as well have a look at Blizzard, see how he's getting on. Oh, well, he's invalidated. He's invalidated it just before the end of the lap as well, so we can now go back to Wouters as he comes through to the final corner. How many people were listening to me as I totally didn't call someone out for cheating. You can see why he's doing that though, Spark, because the line comes up so quickly from the exit of the corner. It's just a good way of exploiting the track limits. Yeah, he'll get away with it as long as it wasn't his fastest lap, but I don't know.
Yeah, Dario, meanwhile, was on his way to a P9 right now, 128.997. But he invalidated in the penultimate corner once again. Not the first time we've seen that today. Matthijs is the only one on a lap right now.
Wow, what a save. Dario has just escaped having an accident. A bit like Grosjean in practice a couple of years ago. Lose it through the S's, but he got it all straightened up. Lost his lap completely. But he still has a chance to set one later on.
Well, yeah, he's on an outlap anyway, on an in-lap anyway, so...
So we can go to someone... Is there anyone out there? Matthijs, yes, Matthijs.
Him and Recon are the only two on a lap right now. And Recon is in the S's right now. Matthijs is about to head onto the back straight, so he's the furthest into his lap. Vaster Race has also started one. As we have Matthijs now on the back straight here. There's Williams not giving him any slipstream, obviously.
But he could have taken the slipstream, couldn't he? I mean, it's not like he was going very slowly down that straight. He could easily have nicked some. It wouldn't have been cheating.
No, he could have tried.
You can take advantage, can't you? You can take advantage if they're going to let you, but that's a big lockup. If any... he won't like that. That's all Matthijs.
Yeah, but looking at the times...
He's given up on it.
He has, Wow. Surprising, because, I mean, looking at the times in the first two sectors, at least, he was about 5/100ths of a second, 5,000ths of a second down on Sparks' time after two sectors. So, would have been probably a P2, maybe a P1, certainly within the top 6, considering how close it is.
Lockup like that with so little time left, you've got to just think about that final.
Yeah, 4 minutes, you're right, yeah. Vaster Race, Recon, actually, hold on. This is a little bugged. Is invalid. Vaster Race is coming. First two sectors. Oh, he's on for provisional pole here. Can he keep it through the final sector? 28.9 is what he's looking for in the final sector to get that. And he does. Oh, and significantly. That
What a
final
lap.
sector, the first one to drop into the 28.7s on the final sector. And there's only one
That's
driver who's done
brilliant.
a 28.8, and that was Jordan. So there's only 2 drivers that are better than 28.9 at Master Racer significantly. That final sector was absolutely perfect right there from Master Racer, and that is a statement from the German.
Yeah, well, how close the grid is, a quarter of a second in the stage, that is incredibly impressive. And we'll see if he can hold on to that. Because that might well be his last run.
Yeah.
Probably is what it is, isn't it?
Most likely,
Get
yeah.
one done now.
Yeah. Ferrari's meanwhile on a lap right now. First sector, however, 10th down on his own time. So not really a good start to this whole thing. And for him, this is also really the last run as he squirms through turn 11 there. That's not going to help him down the back straight here. Let's see, what else do we have? No one else out on track with the flyer right now. Second sector, 2/10 down, so lost another 10th there. Yeah,
I'd just take the ERS down and go again if he's got the fuel.
Yeah, that's the only way
he
you can really save anything. I think Master Racer might fancy another go here. Although I don't see it. I wouldn't understand why, because you already are in P1 right now. You might lose a couple of positions, but you know, you're gonna start on these tires, and they both pit.
Right. So
the end for both of them. Ferrari's gonna have to hope now that he loses 2 positions. That gives him P11.
I think he'll want that now, absolutely.
Yeah.
Get the outside of top 10, get a different strategy choice. As Gill starts his lap, he's heading around 14th place at the moment. So he's not particularly been that fantastic, as we've kept saying, thanks to the wheel. He's adapting to it, and you can see he's spinning off. He's still struggling to adapt, clearly.
That's his qualifying over at this point. P14 right now, only able to go down. Who is the next one? That would be either Jordan or Juiced. It is Jordan, of course. Always one of the first ones. We mentioned that earlier. Very eager. And so, yeah, we see it time and time again. By the way, Vasta Racer finishes in lap with... Yeah. Vasta Racer finishes in lap with 0.06 laps of fuel. That's about as close as it gets.
Well, it's pretty good, that, actually. I'm impressed with that. That's using the maximum on your quali lap, certainly.
It really is, yeah. So who's behind him? That would be... Gamer, not Sparks. The other half. There we go.
Well, we've got to keep our eye on Sparks, because he'll see he's a quarter of a second back. I'm really curious to see if he's going to do that again.
Well,
if anyone else is going to do it. If anyone else is going to do it, his teammate, Gamer, has he been taking advice? Because I'm sure he can't be the only one doing this, because it gains you time. Maybe they're worried about the rapid assurance, but you got Gamer a quarter of a second, a purple middle sector according to the game. But you know, he finds himself 15th. Does he fancy maybe only going for 11th, or does he want to, you know, push the boundaries a bit?
No, he's got the pace. I think he's improved already by 2.5 tenths, quarter of a second there. Gamer after 2 sectors, final corner comes across the line now, and it is P12. Wow.
Yeah, he turned it in too early into the corner, had to turn right out of it.
Yeah, meanwhile, one guy we have to look at is CRG Matthijs. He might be going for pole position here. There's
Sparks improved to P2, by the way.
Timon coming. Oh, no. Yeah, Timon first. P3 for Timon. Sparks stays in P2, but improves. Matthijs P2, half a 10th down. Oh, that is unlucky. Here comes Blizzard. P4. Next comes Aero. Where is Aero? P6, there he is.
He's invalid.
He's invalid. There we go. There's a McLaren on the exit of turn 19. That is Recon, who has now retired. We're looking at Wouters next. He is invalid. And then the 2 Renaults. We have Casper and Ash Best. Ash Best being the first of them. Both of them not invalid. Ash Best, 2 sectors. Well, looks like he's going to improve by about 2 tenths. That would be only 1 position ahead of Gamer if he can keep it through. Maybe he gains 1 or 2 more? No, he doesn't. Not even 1. And Casper through the final corner. That's an improvement of at least a 10th. That goes up to P6. So Casper up to P6. Pushes Ferrari down
Yeah.
to where he wants to be exactly, P11. And that is qualifying over Vasa Racer, getting pole position in front of 4 CRG drivers. I kid you not, I think that's very frightening to see. You have 4 guys behind, all from the same team, maybe in a PlayStation party together, talking to each other. That's scary. But Vasa Racer takes pole position, Matai second, Sparks third, Blizzard 4, Timon 5, Casper 6, Aero 7, Jordan 8, Juice 9. I gotta say, the Dutch people very grouped up here. Matai's the only one who, strays from the path a little bit. Everyone else, P5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Valters 10, Ferrari 11, Gamer 12, Ashbest 13, Christmas 14, Gil 15, Recon 16, Dario 17, and of course Lee had the qualifying ban and will start 18th.
Yes, and I did have a look at Sparks last lap. He did it legally, so he's fine. He improved on it, so I think he'll get away with that.
Yeah,
but do you know one thing? Steve Casper, I'm actually quite interested into why he finished that lap, because he would have known he was nailed on he was 11th, and he still did the lap.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah.
So I mean, he was the last one to cross the line. Surely he would have known that.
Yeah.
But he still went ahead with them.
Maybe he fancies his chances in P6.
Well, let's hope he can make it work. But certainly it hands Ferrari the golden opportunity there, and Gamer looking very good down there as well. We know what pace he's got in the races, so that could be really good for him as well, sitting down there. So yeah, interesting that from Casper. We'll see how that works out for him moving up a bit. But certainly Ferrari will be complaining.
Yeah, and I gotta say Christmas as well. I mean, we've seen a couple of times the Christmas. He just, sometimes on some tracks he just has a hand for, doing the right thing at the right time, pitting at the right moment, getting ahead, or sometimes just outright pace. He's won races in PSGL before, so, I wouldn't be surprised to see Christmas a little further up the ranks come the end of the race. But certainly those 3, Ferrari, Gamer, and Christmas, I think, guys to look out for in the bottom half. As we quickly need to check the tires here now for everyone. And it is, of course, the mediums for everyone outside the top 10, and the softs for those who qualified inside the top 10, as they have to start on the tire they qualified on.
Yes, so no one going for the hards early on. I mean, you'd expect that for the top 10, obviously. They'll want to go, I guess, to them at the end, unless they want to do soft to medium. I'm sure they'll try it if they can, which they probably will. And then the rest, obviously, medium to soft. So, yeah.
Yeah, the thing, as I mentioned about the tire temperatures earlier, that really only holds true for the softs. The mediums, it can get iffy if you make mistakes, if you turn in too much, if you understeer, all that kind of stuff, if you do that. But those drivers are too good to do that. And they will keep an eye on the tire temperatures. And so the mediums shouldn't be too much of an issue when it comes to that. The drivers should be fine, and I think soft to medium is the preferred strategy here for everyone, or medium to soft alternatively.
Yeah, also we saw how that all converted in the last season again. That clip on Twitter we saw, really, it was Matthijs that day who was trying to come through the field, and that whole situation, you missed that race, I think, didn't you? But it was one that sort of set up that Brazil title decider, and a frustrating way from Matthijs, because he did get all stuck and it ended up being so close to the championship. It was a defining race in his championship. If he wanted to come here today, ignore that one happening. He just wants to win this one now. Have a bit of revenge on this track for the misery it may have caused him last time. And he's only got one car to beat off the line to try and do that. And with a turn one this wide and with this heavier braking zone, you got to fancy his chances if he gets a good launch.
Yeah, it is the first good overtaking opportunity, and you can't, here's the thing though, you can't win a race in the first corner, but you can definitely lose it there. That's the one truth that always holds in racing, whether it's F1 or anywhere else. So maybe, if you do have a good run, yes, you're going to try. But I think a lot of these drivers are going to try and take it very cautiously here and just live to fight another day if it's not really there.
Right, well, we'll see what they decide to do as Lee, in his Red Bull, parks up at the back of the grid. his teammate Fast Racer at the front of the grid. So we'll see how everyone gets on. You can see how steep that hill is up to turn 1. Plenty of overtaking opportunities. I'm sure someone's going to take a chance. Matthijs on the right and second place, but it's Fast Racer on the left, on pole. And we are away in Austin. Looks like a decent start from the front, but we'll see who gets up to turn 1 first. If we see a bit of movement further back, but will Matthijs go for it into turn 1? Plenty of room to go for it if he wants to, and I believe he will. Who's going to get the exit? I believe Matthijs will take the lead in this race. Surely Fast Racer is not going to stay side by side for too long. They nearly touch multiple times, but it is Matthijs into the lead here in Austin.
Yeah, great move there. He's stuck it in there. We have a yellow flag. Jordan's out. Jordan's out, and I can't really see where it is. It's in the S's. Must have spun to the left there. Jordan already out of the race. Do we have a safety car for that? There's another spinner. That's Recon. Does he have damage? Yes, on the left side a little bit. Not too much. Light green damage there on his front wing. But those are the only two with any kind of damage, and the yellow flag is now gone.
Yeah, there's a few people going off the track near the back. Maybe they've just sort of come and connected to each other when they're trying to recover. Shame that for Jordan and for Recon as well. But the rest of them look to have got away okay. Only person with damage is Recon. It is quite minor. I imagine he might well stay out with that as well. But yeah, Matthijs, he took a chance when it was there. Fast Racer had a slide at turn 1. That's why he couldn't really fight back. He'd be disappointed with that one, with the Red Bull driver. But that is Matthijs clear off into the lead now. And again, we see so often in this league, they're waiting for those first pit stops. They're waiting to the end of the race most of the time, actually, to go for the racing. So Matthijs can, hopefully, in his case, control the field from here. Further back, there's a few people's names going missing as usual. So we're going to have to wait for that to fix itself now, unfortunately. But there was some fights in the midfield, but I can't tell you where anyone is now.
Yeah, it's not lap 3 either. It's still lap 2. Apologies for that. Recon does actually pit. Recon does actually pit at the end of lap 1 here for his front wing. So that is going to be a 2-stop for him because not even the hard tire. What tire does he go on? Does go into the hard. Not even the hard tire will make it to the end. He's going to try. If he does get a safety car in between, he won't have to pit again. But only with a safety car in between would those hard tires be able to go to the end.
I think even with a safety car, he'd still pit anyway.
Yeah, most likely. Most likely.
Yeah. But he's just got to keep going now and hope for the best. But I'm surprised, honestly, there wasn't a safety car for that first incident. I mean, a car crashing through the S's, if anything screamed safety car, I would have thought that would be it. But it seems so reluctant to come out these days. It's weird. It's always a virtual safety car, if anything. But, oh well, the leaders aren't going to be complaining too much about that, I imagine. They're just getting on with their own thing. Top 9, all soft runners, and then behind that, it's all medium until Recon. So Ferrari still leading those medium runners. And I don't imagine he's going to want to put much of a challenge on Vouchers. If he can just stay in his DRS zone, we say this every week, then he'll be doing his job. He'll be happy enough with that.
Yeah, meanwhile, DRS now enabled for everyone as we are at the start of lap 3. First DRS zone will obviously be on the back straight coming out of turn 11 with the detection point right before turn 11. So if someone's close after the S's, which is unlikely but possible, considering, you know, there's dirty air and everything, you know, you might fancy go there and then get the DRS on top. But the gaps are so narrow between all these drivers. They're just so close to each other. It's very difficult to make an overtake happen really anywhere. And then, of course, we have the second DRS straight on the main straight with the detection point before turn 19. So before the penultimate corner and after the triple right-hander.
So I'm using their DRS then for the first time on that back straight, and they're all single file to head down. It's the entire field, isn't it? It's got the DRS apart from poor Recon, who's on his own, as we say. But yeah, I don't know where we're going to get this first battle from, really. It does depend, I guess, first of all, on who falls out of the DRS zone first. But if no one's fighting, it might be difficult to fall out of that zone, meaning we're going to be sat here in stalemate for quite a while. But as you say, these soft tires, they don't last forever, especially at the start of the race. So that'll probably be the first port of disaster for anyone, if it does indeed go as badly as it could do. Especially for those S's.
Meanwhile, let me quickly check something. I want to see how many warnings the drivers are on. Blizzard already not doing too well on 2 warnings this early on. Would be surprised if he can make it to the end 25 more laps without a 3rd warning and therefore without a penalty. That would be quite surprising. But yeah, he's the one in danger right now. Already 2 warnings to his name. The 3rd one gives him 3 seconds of time penalties. So he's got to be really, really careful here.
Sure, will be the only one, as we said. Actually, Recon's got one.
Yeah, Recon was the Recon was the other one, but because he's 17th, I wanted to spare him a little bit. But yeah, and now Gamer as well with 2 warnings, so he's close to a penalty as well.
It's fascinating to see how they all go down that back straight, isn't it? They're all absolutely staying tight to the curb the whole way down there. Taking every little piece of advice they can. That's just craziness. Ferrari just falling outside the DRS but coming back in. Same with Ash Best, it's fluctuating a bit. Will he be able to get back into that DRS? I'm sure he will. You don't tend to fall for too long, especially when you've got a little bit of ERS on you can use it a bit to catch back up, and he's done that. So even when the DRS train does break, it seems easy to get back in.
I mean, well, we have a yellow flag in sector 1. That is for Recon's retired car. And Ashbest did get the DRS, even though he's 1.1 seconds out. Oh!
He is so stressful to watch, man. He's done that twice in 2 corners.
Wow.
And he's still within a second.
Yeah. That's the surprising part here, really. He's still close, but this is where the first breaking point seems to occur. And it sort of drops the bottom 4 that are still in the race. Ashbest, Dario, Gil, and Lee off the pace, off the rest of the grid. The other breaking point might happen at Ferrari in P10. Gamer, actually, P11. That might be the breaking point right behind there. He is out of the window, I think. Let's see. Does he get the DRS? No, he does not. He does not. Ferrari does have it. Gamer does not. That's the worst camera angle right now. Jeez. If we could choose the camera angles, we'd try. I would try, but that was one I really didn't want there. You know, nice to see the rear from the rear of the car, but not really helpful. It distorts a lot. And yeah, it's not helpful. But you know, it is what it is. Gamer is getting back though within a second, so he's actually pulling it back. As we have currently, yeah, Ashbest is gone. I think that bottom 4 really, I mean, at this point, rather helpless.
That's just super frustrating for the guys behind as well, because they really will just get stuck now. Hopefully, they can try and get by, because that is going to ruin their races. I think Dario's realizing this, but he's had to use all of his ERS to get there.
Oh, they touch. Oh. They touch a little bit. They're still side by side. Oh, not through the S's. Oh, and Ashbest pulls out of that one. Lets Dario by. Honestly, probably a smart call as Ashbest also gets a penalty here. We have more drivers now in 2 warnings. Matai's on 2. We have Gamer, as we mentioned, on 2. And Blizzard. We have Dario on 2. And Ashbest got a 3rd one. Even Gamer now got a 3rd one as well. So penalties being handed out left, right, and center here now. Lap 6, very early on. But Dario getting the move done. However, maybe Ashbest is going to try and come back here. 5/10, certainly within the realm of possibilities to make an overtake happen here. But he's not using his overtake button.
Dario's on 0 ERS, so he'll be getting absolutely no difficulty whatsoever.
Yeah, so but Ashbest didn't try. And Lee and Gil battling. Yeah. Lee taking a chance here on Gil, taking the position at least up to P15. As Blizzard is for some reason really, really close to Timon here. Less than 3/10. Maybe there's something developing there. Timon seems to have a load of Blizzard seems to have a load of pace here. And kind of almost seems a little stuck in the train.
This is the good news here. All these guys, 4th, 5th, and 6th, have got pretty much their full ERS there to deploy. While Sparks is a little lower, but the top 2 are way lower. So they're all sort of preparing themselves. That seems to me like a pit stop strategy now. They'll have so much more ERS to use on their out lap or even on their in lap
Yeah, in lap
So
more.
they seem to be all preparing for that now, because that
Yeah.
might be coming up soon. In the next sort of 4 or 5 laps
Yeah,
at the
maybe even
most.
less than that. Maybe even less
Yeah,
than that.
the
I
very
mean,
most.
pretty much. Yeah, and actually, if they go to hards, I think we can expect the pit window to open about, well, this lap really. If they do pit for mediums, it's gonna open around the end of lap 10, 11, and then most of them are probably gonna come in lap 12. But
Yeah,
someone
I
might
expect that.
fancy the undercut in lap 10. It's a daring strategy. They're gonna suffer at the end, but we know how strong the undercut is. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone goes for the daring strategy here and goes in lap 10.
Yeah, you can see that they're all just closing up. We always say this, though. They always want to close up, and then they'll just sit there. But yeah, there's always strategy for now. Later on, hopefully, we'll see that all spiral into fighting because Ferrari, yes, he is out of the DRS zone now, but it is only 1.6 seconds to Valtteri. So you got to remember how quick those medium runners, when they go to the softs at the end, how quick they're going to be, because they will be very quick. We're expecting that anyway. Surely that'll disturb the top 10 somewhat, or the top 9, sorry, on those softs at the minute. That'll disturb them later on. And you can see Blizzard having a look on the inside on timing. Not trying to really go for the move as such, but just again showing that he's there, trying to unsettle the Alfa Romeo in front of him. But, staying in line of stern still.
Yeah, now Blizzard, I was gonna say Blizzard falling away a little bit, but it really doesn't. Look for a second like it, but not really. And Timon, he seems like he's overdriving the car a little bit. He wants to make more happen than he can, and that gives him some struggles here. As now everyone, once again, the what we always say still holds true. When everyone has DRS, no one has DRS. And you can see here, it's hard to overtake in such a train as Blizzard is getting really, really close. Up close and personal here with Timon, but once again, not going for the move. It really is a question of when, not if.
Yeah. Oh, I think when it comes to pit stops, by the way, Fast Racer's tires, you can see it on the TAS. He needs to pick first, doesn't he? Because these are in much worse situation compared to those around him. Sparks as well might think about that. But actually, it's both the top 2 that go in first. And that is a bit earlier than we all thought. So that might scream hards. Unless they think the mediums can go. Unless they maybe think the mediums can go further. They do think the mediums can go further. Okay, medium tires.
Wow.
So that is faster racers definitely on mediums.
Wow.
And we'll see the same for everybody else then. So I thought they'd go a little bit longer on the softs, but I guess they will fall off quite big time. And so they will now come out onto the track and we'll see how the undercut works as Blizzard gets his penalty. We've been expecting that one for a while, haven't we?
Yeah, and I want to just quickly mention, because I think it is quite important to understand how crazy that strategy seems, at least on paper. The in-game data. The in-game data suggests these medium tires can go 16 laps. They have to do 20 now.
Yeah. Let's not trust the game on paper. We never have. We never will.
No, I do to a degree. It's a good indicator. Yeah, but it's a good indicator. You know, it's not perfect. I get that, but it's a good indicator. So apparently the drivers think that those mediums can take quite a bit longer. And they trust those mediums to go 20 laps, which again, is 25% more than the game says they can, which is quite significant. You know, usually, everything within sort of 10-15% I would give you. I'd be like, okay, yeah, fair enough, 1-2 more laps. Sure. 4 laps, that's significant.
Well, to be fair, you do have a point. When we are looking at the others pitting now, apart from Arrow, of course, who's staying out, and Casper and Valtteri. Because in fairness, if you look at the people who are on the mediums right now, they are sort of tracking to only get about 18, 19 laps out of them. So 20 is a push, but at the end of the race with less fuel, maybe you would get that extra lap out of it. So they are pushing it. They are definitely pushing it. But they are also the best in the world. So I guess we got to trust them on this one.
Yeah,
they got to know what they're doing.
I'm not saying I question their decision. I'm just saying it's on paper it's daring, but they know what they're doing. I'm not questioning that.
Juice thought about that one, didn't he, on Sparks, but
Oh, yeah.
decided he wasn't going to go for it because it probably would have ended in an airplane accident. It always does when you go side by side for air, unfortunately. And exit out of turn one, you really do have to just be on it. And Juice wasn't quite confident enough at this stage. We're not even at the halfway point. So risky moves like that, a bit early for it.
Meanwhile, Casper might eye a move on Aero. VS are teammates now, they are, in terms of their esports organization, but they are rivals on the track here, and Aero goes slightly defensive there, a little bit of weaving, but I think that was still before the braking zone, so that should be fine. But Aero defending with everything he's got. He wants to be the first one in the pit lane so he doesn't get held up in the pit lane. I think that's the goal here with Casper and Wouters right behind. I think they will all pit now. So very surprising to me that they pit this early, and now Aero, Casper, and Wouters are the last ones to pit. And Casper seems to have this tendency as they... Oh no, they do come. I was going to say they stay out, but no. They do actually come in, all three of them. And Ferrari, the alternate strategy pole sitter, now in the lead.
So he will give us then the first indication, I guess, of absolute on-track data of how far these softs really, or these mediums really do go. Like I say, we might have to add 1 or 2 laps onto it to counter for the fuel at the end, but this is certainly the first indication we'll get. Safety car now is ideal if you're on these mediums as well. It will help them out a lot. But for now, they are on their own. They are at the front. They're going to be there for quite a while, and we're going to see eventually Matthijs catch up to Gil, and that's only 4 seconds of a gap actually. They are pretty close already.
Yeah, but it's because there's a huge gap between Christmas and Dario, and then another big gap. Oh no, actually, the next big gap is between Gil and Matthijs. But yeah, as I said earlier, you only lose 18 seconds in the pit lane here, so it's not that much. And there goes Gamer for the lead on Ferrari, and that is about as easy as taking a lollipop away from a baby. Not that you should do that, but Gamer here taking the lead on the on the back straight. Apologies. It is the longest straight, but it is still the back straight. And Ferrari looking up here, almost going into the back of Gamer as well, who has taken the lead. And looking at the tire data that we get on the Taz, I don't think these tires go 20 laps without a puncture. I really can't see it. We see Gamer almost at 50% after 11 laps.
We might have a look and see how far they went last season, because I know they tried this now. I'll quickly research this. We'll do some very quick research, because I am more looking at it, the more I'm sort of thinking you are absolutely right here. How on earth are they going to do this? It's because the tires are so unpredictable once they get 70%. If it were like previous games where they go at like 90, sure, they'll easily do 20 laps, but it's so unpredictable.
Which, to be fair, is kind of to a degree realistic, more realistic at least. But also, you know, it adds a nice element to it in terms of how much do you want to gamble.
Let's have a look. There's sure to be some people that took them to the end of last year's race. And the most they were going was 18 laps, so they had pitted earlier this year.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But mind you, they were also taking softs nearly 12 laps last year, so I don't know. It's wrong on all accounts, maybe.
No. The softs being 12 laps, that's not actually that surprising because the in-game data says the softs last 12 laps. So that's understandable. The medium 16, the hard 21. That's what the in-game data says. Again, it's not always perfectly accurate. You can usually go... generally, to explain how the in-game data works, basically it tells you when the tires are going to hit exactly 70%, or are expected to hit 70%. You can take them longer, but you are running at the risk of getting a puncture. And you might think, you know, I'll take them to 75. That would be about an extra lap or two, depending on which compound. You might think, hey, you know what, I'm risking it today. I'm going to 80. That would be then 2 extra laps or more, depending, again, on the compound. But, you know, that just says 70%, 12 laps on the soft, 16 on the medium. So the drivers always had sort of a decision to make. Where do we want to risk it? And they decided we're going to risk it at the end with the mediums. We want the undercut. We want the improved time. And if it does happen that we get a puncture, well, then so be it.
Yes, I do wonder sometimes if there's actually an element of impatience for the first pit. So you're thinking, oh, they undercut this up, they undercut next up. You know, that might maybe they don't think as hard about it at the time. You think, right, I've done the undercut. Oh, you know, it's like now I look what I've done. But
Yeah.
yeah, it is interesting. It's very interesting. Although it is worth pointing out, I've seen for some people actually the bigger issues with the front tires. And from what I can tell, as Lee and Ash Best go side by side. Who's going to come out on top this one? Because they are going for it. Lee does it the inside line and sure try and cover the exit.
Shoves them off a little bit. Ashbest gets a penalty for that as well. He might get that one removed, or at least one warning removed.
Yeah, it seemed rather unavoidable, that penalty, to be honest.
Yeah, not really much he could do about it. But
that warning he's just taken there probably means he would get the penalty put straight back on. And Gill's going to pass him in a minute. And Matthijs is on his back as well. But I was going to say, looking at the tyres, it does appear as Gill does go past that it's actually the front tyres that are the ones that are the most at risk.
Oh,
it always seems to be a
rare.
They're both sliding.
Wow.
But it does appear to be, from what I can tell when I play the game, the rares are the ones that sometimes go earlier than the soft. So if you're looking earlier than the front, so even if you're looking at the front tyre, where the rear one's the one that might confuse you, it really could be an all-round tyre problem with this one.
Yeah, it really depends.
That is a nightmare. That
it really depends on the driving style. Gamer's worst tyre is the front left, but then you look at Christmas, his worst tyres are the rear left and rear right. So it really is a matter of driving style. How smooth are you on the accelerator? When you get out of a corner, the smoother you are, the more you're going to struggle with your fronts, and the less smooth you are, the more you're going to struggle with your rears. As Matthijs eyes up a move on Ash Best, is Ash going to fight this? Not really, all too hard. And once again, he almost gets shoved out to get another penalty here, but Matthijs does leave him at least enough space to avoid that issue. And here comes Vaster now sending it down the inside. That's turn 15 for you right there. That's the move I was talking about earlier. Gets a little bit of a slide. And they are now side by side. Oh, and round the outside goes Vaster. That's a great move right there through the triple right-hander.
Yeah, and timing is right on it as well. I'm surprised he wasn't a bit closer actually when they both slid out of turn 15. But that will give Timon some encouragement, surely, as Matthijs now tries to go by Gill. It's at this stage when you're siving through the traffic that you have to take advantage of your rivals maybe struggling as Asbest falls, as you say, behind Juiced. That might be where we see some of these changes in the main fight. But yeah, next one for Vaster is Gill, and in time, as I say, he's right on him now. So we'll see how these two get their way through that. Because if it's anywhere near as difficult as the last one was for Vaster, he might not still be ahead of the Alfa Romeo after it.
Yeah, I mean, what we're looking at, Sparks is trying to get past Ashbest here, 2/10. And Vosserace is also looking, Sparks going to do it before the corner? Yes, he is. And I think he's got the position. Yes, he does. Again. So we're, a little bit of contact
Look at
there.
Blizzard. Blizzard will have him now.
Yeah,
surely.
But here comes Vosserace on Gill. That is now, and there goes Timon. Is Timon looking for a move on Vasta? No, he's not close enough. It's all kicking off now because they're all coming together. The medium runners who haven't pitted yet and the medium runners who started on the soft, they're all converging and collapsing is the wrong word there, but certainly converging as Juice now goes past Gill, sends it down the inside. I love that kind of move. You just send it, you're so much faster. And obviously you are sort of sacrificing your exit speed and therefore your pace through this triple right-hander, but it looks so good as well from the outside to send it there and go down the inside as Dario is now the first one to pit.
Wow.
Oh, that's early.
This is interesting. We're still side by side with a few more. Matthijs trying to get by Lee. You know, Lee's been a problem for people past him in the past, but Matthijs got through relatively cleanly. Yeah, I might have to put a public apology for you in a minute because it does seem you were absolutely right about these meetings. Because look at them on the task.
Yeah,
I really do think it has been. They've all thought, who wants to undercut first? We've all undercut too early, and we're all in trouble now.
Yeah, I think the only ones who might be fine are Casper, Aero, and Wouters. But even for them,
Yeah,
it's going to be tricky. That's why I said, if you want to go soft to medium, lap 10 is when the pit window opens. And that's risky. Oh, as Gil is in the wall with Casper. Oh, my. It's all come undone for both of them. Gil, massive front wing damage. Casper, massive front wing damage. They both have to pit. I think at the end of this lap, and for for Gil, that's not an issue. He had to pit anyway rather soon. In fact, his tires are at 64% on the rear left, but for Casper, that's basically the race done. He has pitted already. He has to pit again. These mediums only 20% through their life, and that is very, very unlucky there. As we have to head up a little bit further through the field as Gamer and Ferrari pit. Lap 16, that's when we would expect the medium runners to come in. Christmas still likes his tires, even though they are at 70%. No, they are not. Sorry, 67%. Apologies, the Taz didn't update quickly enough. Gamers are at 70%, so he did the right choice there. Ferrari could have taken one more lap, I reckon, but Christmas, I want to see maybe, if he's really unlucky, that rear left blows just as he's about to enter the pit lane.
Oh, look at him, he's all over the show.
Yeah.
But this needs to be, if you're Matt Ice and if you're Vasteris and if you're Juiced, you're hoping that he can get to the end of this lap, you know, with some tyres left, as we have the full yellow flags. There's a car, it's Ferrari, is it? In Narnia? Yes, it is in Narnia.
Yeah, it is. Can't really see. Oh, yeah, he's in the grass.
Got there, but
the
he's recovered
is
from
fine.
it.
Yeah.
We no need for any virtual safety cars or anything for that, as Lee gets overtaken again. Like Aero
it's all
this
kicking
time.
off. It's hard to keep track of everything. My goodness.
Right. Christmas still has tyres, but they don't look very good, do they? He's all over
He
the
has
road.
to pit. He
but
has to pit.
Crucially, they're still alive on 70%, but it doesn't look very fast, does it?
Yeah, it's really not. It's really not. The rear left is on 70%, now 71. And he is pitting, yes. It's the sensible call here. But that opens up the softs for him for one lap long. He can, you know, take him a little bit more, a little bit harder, as Matthijs is now the leader of this race again. After gaining it in turn 1 and then losing it on the pit stop. He's now back in the lead.
What we're going to have to look at then at the end of the race, when it comes to these tyres, will the extra lap or two that Matthijs has reduced, that will, you know, what they're going to have to do, will that be enough to get them to the end? You might be right when you're saying it comes on the driving style as well. You're going to have to protect the rears through these S's as well, instead of some qualifying. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of tyre preservation going on. And when you've got no ERS, as Matthijs and Vasteris are in that situation, that's going to be quite difficult, because you're going to have to defend from time when he has that lap pressure tire, and it could make a difference at the end of the race. I mean, Vasteris is already into the 40% range.
Yeah, for Vasteris at the front left's not looking too good. I'm going to check the tires at the end of this lap. It should be for Vasteris at around 42, which after 9 laps suggests, let me quickly do a little bit of math in my head if I can, that they only last about 15, and then they go to the 70% range, and he has to do 20 on them.
I'll tell you what,
that's not looking good.
It's at this point, Austin, you've got to look at Gamer, isn't it? He is currently 10.6 seconds off the lead. Those tires, we established, we know he's getting to the end. They've done it in the past, they've done it, they'll do the race. From this point, they won't have any worries until maybe like the last few laps, but they won't blow up. We don't think. Don't quote me on that, because you'll quote me on everyone. I was wrong on that as well. But,
no, I will not hold that against you, Owen. Don't worry about it.
This one, he's got the penalty. It's a bit annoying, but he has got the fastest lap. He's closing in now. There's 10 laps to go in the race. We saw this. He's Matthijs last year when he was closing in. He struggled with the overtaking. If Gamer gets there and can get through people quickly, once he gets near the front guys, he should have a real good chance at a good position today in the race.
Yeah.
But it's all going to be about whether he can get there quickly enough and enough life in his tires to fight. He's got a good old gap behind him to Dario as well. Just seems like the penalty, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to say right now, I think the top 3 favorites right now are none of them are found in the top 6. I think it's Aero, Wouters, and Gamer. I think the top 6 are all going to blow their tires.
Look at this. Look at the top 3. Look at that. I haven't seen them this close since Russia, and they all nearly killed each other then. Quite how no one's wanted to go for a move in that situation. That must be them already. They're all thinking, I don't want to waste my tires going for a move, but they were practically bump drafting down that back straight. That's crazy. It's crazy. Is that really the situation we're in on this game, where you're that close and you don't want to pass them because it's just too risky? Ugh. It's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit annoying, but from the driver's perspective, it doesn't make sense because again, you don't want to lose time.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
As Vassar, 46% on his tires at the end of a lap, 10 on these tires, so he's gonna have to go another another 9.
Stuck it out. Look at that. Gamers closed another 2 seconds on that last lap to the leader.
Vassar could be as much as about 85 to 90% on these tires, and I'm not exaggerating.
Theoretically, he could still make it on that, of course. Theoretically, he could also go at 70.
Yeah.
So it could theoretically go at any point from 70 onwards. We saw Monaco, they took them a really long way longer than we thought they would. But even at that, the pace of Gamer, this ain't Monaco. You can pass here. Trust me, I know we haven't seen much of it in these fights, but we saw when they're going through slower cars.
Oh, it will
Gamer's
happen.
the one
will
that'll be
happen.
going through slower cars. This is going to be basically this is flip situation from earlier. Oh, this is going to be good.
Here comes Christmas on Dario, meanwhile, for P10. Possibly P3, considering the tire situation. This could be P5, this could be P3, this could be anything. Here comes Christmas, down the inside of Dario, and gets the position quite easily. The Shazoo teammates here, obviously in different cars, Mercedes and Ferrari. But Christmas gets the position. I mean, if you're watching right now, and you're thinking, well, I don't know if I'm going to watch until the end. Well, you should be watching until the end because this is going to be a crazy finish.
Connor, you get this link and you share it absolutely everywhere in the world. This is your league. This is your big moment. This is a massive potential end to this race. You've got to get everyone in here for this one. You've got to get the PC boys in here, show them how to do it. Because they complain too much about their races. Let them see what good stuff is, and we won't have any complaints from there anymore. This is going to be fantastic. Get them all in here. I can't wait for this. 5.9 seconds, and that's
Yellow
a
flag. Ferrari retired.
No, it's in the pit lane. No safety cars, because that would have ruined it. No, don't give me any safety cars now. Don't let me just have this. Enjoy it.
Oh, Gamer, meanwhile, all over the back of Wouters. Gamer all over the back of Wouters. Yeah, I think that's going to be the next move down the back straight here. As Wouters is completely separated from the herd, from the top 7 by over 2.5 seconds. Misses the apex there a bit, and Gamer on DRS, not even using any of his overtakes.
Those are coming. This is going to be that. I mean, doesn't have to even. No ERS used, and he's straight through. That's crucial. And Timon, has he fallen off the field?
Yeah.
What's happened there?
He's dropping. He's
Did
dropping
he just
down.
hit someone?
No.
Did he go
he
for a
might
move, or
have.
did he just lose the back end?
No. I think he did touch someone. He's got slight front wing damage on the right side, not visible, but 12% on our telemetry. So he has a slight damage there. So he must have hit someone, and then I think also followed by spin. I think he went for a move down the inside. And the other person, he ran into the person on the outside and got a slight spin on. Lost all the positions, down to P7 now, with slight damage.
So it's lap 22.7 to go. And by the end of this lap, Fast Racer will be into the 50% range on his tyres. That's bad. That's really not encouraging, but they could still get to the end. We got to keep on it. It's not a guarantee they're going to blow up on him. There's not a guarantee they'll get to the line. The biggest problem is my Gamer. It's 7 laps. He's got to pass 1 car every lap, same as Matthijs last year. He failed to do that. He had the same challenge, 1 car a lap, and he couldn't do it. Will Gamer be able to do it? That's the massive question here.
I think so. I think you said there's no guarantee that Boss Racer's tires are going to blow up. I'm going to say there is. I'm going to give a guarantee right now that someone's tires are going to blow up, and it's going to be mediums. It's going to be the yellow wall tire. It's not going to be softs, most likely. Maybe softs as well, but one of the medium runners in the top 9 is definitely going to experience a puncture. Master Racer the most likely, but it could also hit Juice, it could hit Matthijs, it could hit Sparks, it could hit Timon. It could hit Blizzard. Blizzard looking quite well right now. But, yeah, there's definitely... I think if this goes on, if this ends without a single puncture, I don't know, dare me to do something. I'm going to take every risk here. I guarantee there's going to be one puncture at least.
I've noticed that Jordan's just rejoined the lobby. Obviously, he's out of the race. I wonder if he's going to be there to update his teammates and what's going on around it, because that could be quite important.
Here comes Gamer on time.
As Gamer, damaged car he's overtaken here, so it should be relatively easy, and it is indeed up into P7 now. 3.7 seconds off the lead of the race on 5-lap old softs. Can he get the job done? Because once he gets there, if he does, he's got to then make 3 seconds. That's a big call. Actually, my task was lagging behind. Fast just into the 60%. Sorry, I was stuck on 48 for ages. Just jumped right up to 61.
Yeah, he's on 60 now.
Yeah, that's okay. Ignore me, because I'm looking at that thinking, well, it's actually not that bad on 50. It might be all right, but 60, yeah, that is
61 now.
Really bad. Yeah, 61.
Wow. Master Race is gonna head into puncture territory in 2 laps.
Yeah, good luck.
And he's still got 4 to go after that. Or 3.5 roughly.
He's so much more confident on the brakes as a Haas driver. He's got to keep getting the moves done quickly though. It's a shame that penalty, isn't it? That's going to be frustrating, and I really hope it doesn't cost him this, because he has played himself really nicely into position. We don't really know what sent Ferrari off the track. It's a real shame he's ended up out of the race, to be honest, because he could have been in this as well. But Christmas, he's nowhere at the minute, actually. And it will come to him, I'm sure, but right now it is only Gamer now in the softs. Let's make his way up. Ideal for him.
Here's the thing, I can still see a scenario where Christmas ends up finishing 4th.
Here we go.
He's P10 right now. Dario is out. There goes Gamer around the outside. Misses the braking point a little bit.
Really not the way you want to be doing that. He was, I think, surprised by Aero going so defensive to the inside. And then he got his braking all wrong into turn 1. Every mistake you make costs you an overtaking opportunity. Simple as that. And you can't be throwing those away. Because, like we said, you can't guarantee the punctures. You got to make sure you have the moves done just in case that doesn't happen. And he's got to make sure he takes his next opportunity, because his ERS has gone down as a result of that as well. If I'm him, I'm passing into here. You've got to be taking the chances.
He wasn't close enough.
What about at the front? Because Matthias is driving away now. And you can see the damage on Valtteri's tire. You can see his front right as we ride on board. It's it's already, you can see the grain, and you'll see the grain on the other tires as well, the rear right as well.
Oh, Aero going defensive again. And Gamer looking for the move. Now around the outside here. Oh, he's not there. And Aero doesn't have to leave him the space. You have to be fully alongside around the outside. Aero going defensive again. Now the cutback from Gamer. And he hits, he hits the rear of Aero. Loses that position. Another one to Timon. Oh, they lagged a little bit. Apologies for that. But yeah, Gamer now down to P8 again. Gets it back to P7. I think those two might be talking. Because I think Timon just let him by. Nah,
Timon's all over the show. He's struggling a lot right now. That's so frustrating for Gamer, because he's not going to get caught back up. And that's it. He's just... What's he going to do now? He's going to have to for so many more punctures ahead now. The win might be gone now. That's it. Because that's what we said. The one mistake it loses him. He's going to be 2 or 3 mistakes on that lap. Not being able to get by Aero in time. It's starting to get a bit darker. I don't think we're expecting any rain. Would shake it up a little bit at the end, but now I'm going to keep the eye on Master Race. Got to keep the eye on Master Race, because he, any minute now, will be hitting 70% on the tyres. And once he does that, he's into puncture territory. And with that long turn 16, that could be where it goes, potentially.
Oh, yeah.
That's why
if it does, here's the thing, I'm going to tell you right now, if it does go there, that could be his race over. Because the moment, if you're running at over 200 kilometers an hour through that corner, where you have a lot of speed, obviously, and that front left, the tire that the mass is on, the mass of the car is on, that blows, you're spinning. You're heading straight for the wall.
On the front tire, you won't spin. If it's a rear tire, you'll spin. Front tire, you'll just sort of go a bit straight on. You'll be able to save that.
Fair enough. Okay, and he's on 70% now.
The sky is, though. Look at it. I mean, it's overcast now. It's absolutely gone to overcast.
Yeah.
Straight away on one lap. I'd love to see a bit of rain to shake this up. Dying tires, rain. Give me it. Look at it. It's dark now. It's dark.
Yeah,
it's
it's
gonna
not
rain.
raining. It's not raining yet.
I'd
We're
say,
on board
looking
with
at that,
Master Racer here to see when
maybe,
the first drops come
maybe
down.
this explains this could explain the earlier pit stop potentially. Probably doesn't. Almost certainly doesn't actually. It probably won't rain at all. But if it does rain, they have an excuse.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
thought it was going to come earlier, honest.
Yeah. That's very possible, yeah. But I'm still looking at that front left tire, 71% now. And he's still got 2.5 laps to go. And Mattei's now with a lockup into turn 11. And he's getting to 70. Well. He is on 70 on the rear left. For Master Racer, 3 tires can blow now. Front left, front right, then rear left. Only the rear right is still under 70. I mean, this is very, very dangerous.
This is it now. The top 6, all within 2 seconds. Blizzard, it will be a very annoyed man that he's sitting there with a penalty. Because anything could happen at the moment. It could rain, the tyres could blow up. We've only got 2 laps to decide this all. Gamer as well will be absolutely kicking himself at the minute. But it could all turn around in these next few laps. And Fast Racer is saving some ERS up. So he might well be going for an attack. He could still obviously just go for the win. Like I said, there's no guarantee that they will actually go. He's in a position where he'll still have the DRS, he's still have the ERS. So there's nothing saying he still can't try and go for a move until we see that tire blowing up.
Yeah, but I think Master Racer's plan right now, more likely, is that he looks at Mattei's and goes, hey, maybe Mattei's going to get a penalty. He's on 2 warnings. Maybe I'll get a penalty. Juice behind in P3.
Oh, 2. Oh, well. It's a penalty for Sparks. I thought we saw 2 come at once, but it was just Sparks. But that's another one with penalty.
But yeah, he's looking at Juice behind. He's going, hey, I want to keep the position from him. And so I think there were 2 penalties. There was another one to Christmas as well. He's on 9 seconds now. That was the other one. There were 2. You were not wrong. But it was Christmas and P9 right now. Got another 3-second time penalty, up to 9 seconds in total now. But yeah, Master Racer, it's one more lap after this, and let me just quickly, if my mouse could have worked, that would be great. There we go. 77. All 4 tires could blow now.
We've got the racing points are side by side. Sorry to interrupt there, but they're going for it now. Aero, and he's hitting his teammate, look. There's contact, and Gamer's right back into this. That's not what you need on slightly dead tires.
Slightly.
Not at all what you need. As Gamer, well, he is still there. I'm sure he'll be looking to poach 1 or 2 positions at the end of this race. And those 2 fighting away. Aero has got the move done. So it's a harsh but fair, I'd say, as we head round. The final lap's about to begin. Is this top 7 going to stay in the same order as it starts in?
I don't believe it.
I somewhat doubt it. As Gamer already comes up the hill. He wants to get by Blizzard. This is for position because they both got a penalty. And look up ahead, we've got Aero trying to go for it. He's into the side of Juice.
That's damage.
He's completely overshot, but he has got the move done on Sparks as he crashes.
Massive damage. 38% right side. The end plate is gone, and I think
hold them all up.
Yeah.
And this is championship leader. He's holding up. Don't damage the championship leader, for goodness sake. And teammate of championship leader, don't crash into him either. This lets the top 3 breathe a little bit as Gamer does hit the back of his teammate. And that'll have Blizzard all over the back of him as well. Still no tires blowing up. We've got Fast Racer on. He's only 81%.
Yeah.
And they haven't blown up yet. And he's still got a chance to go for the race win, but he's just a bit too far behind on the DRS. Juice might fancy it. Sparks all over the back of Aero. And Gamer going straight past, actually, into P5. Again, that's another driver with penalties. That will count as a fair move. Still looking on the tires. Nothing going by yet.
Oh, Aero with a massive
there's
slide.
Contact again. Oh, and again. I just want to keep
Blizzard on Sparks. Oh. And still no tire blown. Still no tire blown. Sparks and Gamer almost hitting each other. Still no tire. How in the world?
I think they're all right. I think Matthijs is going to come on the final corner.
Yes.
We're going to just keep an eye on it. I think he's good now. Matthijs comes to the line. He wins. Just a bite. Fast Racer second. Juice third. And we've
Blizzard in the
got the rest
wall.
coming across the line. Blizzard does
Blizzard.
fall down with penalties and the accidents, but it
Yeah.
is Juice Third Arrow, 4 Vouchers, Gamer, Sparks Lee, Timon, and then Blizzard, like I say, P10. It's Christmas, Ashbest, and Casper in the end. But you know what? There wasn't a single tyre blow up in that whole sequence. So
How?
I was
80
right.
We had.
Yay!
Can I just say, we had 4, 8, 12, 14, 16, 20, 24, 28 tires in the whole field that were 70% or beyond. 28 tires and not one blew. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. I can't believe this. As Matthijs wins the race, Master Racer second, Juice third, Aero fourth, Vatas fifth, Spark sixth, Blizzard 7, Lee 8, Christmas 9, Gamer 10. Those are the positions. And I think it was, who was it? Ashbest who got a penalty for being shoved off, basically, right? Yeah, so he could... Oh, no, he won't get that removed unless he finds another warning, because he has 13 warnings overall, and at 12 warnings you get a penalty, so he would have to find 2 warnings to get 3 seconds removed. But Matthijs wins, Vaster Race is second, Juice third. Let's try and get them into the Discord. Oh, and if you'd be so kind to tell them
Yes,
that.
I've already done it.
Thank you. Helpful as always. Helpful as always. Wow, what a race, I gotta say.
Yeah, it was a tense one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that when it just the tires, they just were begging to go and they just didn't. Fair play though. Absolutely fair play.
Oh, and do you remember season 26 Spain?
I do. Last lap.
When Danny Moreno's tires went at about 70.1%.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, and here we have, again, 28 tires on these, what was it, 13 cars? Yes, 28 tires on these 13 cars that were beyond 70%. And none of them blew. None.
And it could be down to setup, I guess, as well. Maybe they have someone on setup which just lets the tires breathe a bit. I doubt it, but I'm sure we can ask them about it. Let's see if anyone's in the waiting room.
I doubt it as well. Oh, yeah, Matthijs of Osrace are there. Let me quickly move to this screen and then pull them in. My goodness, what a race that was. We're still waiting for Juice, I think.
Yes.
But let's hope he joins soon. Oh my goodness. I think you know what, actually. I think oh, what do you think? Should we start already and then... Oh, no, never mind. Ha! As I'm asking you, Juice is here. There we go. So now we got all 3. Oh, and do you want to start?
Yes. I shall start with the race winner then, Matthijs. First of all, I did say it on the stream, it was all going to potentially come down to turn 1. Were you always planning on sitting lead into there and then sort of controlling it from there, or was it just spur of the moment when you had a good start?
Well, obviously, you hope for a good start to from P2 when you're on the inside to make a dive and retain the lead. I think from there on you can make such a gap in the S's to be clear for the DRS.
Was there any pressure then at the end from Bastrich, or was it just the more thinking about the tires? Because it felt like everyone's tires were going to blow up at some point. Was it just about getting those to the end?
Yeah, I was a bit afraid of the tires. Obviously, I had like 2 laps before the end, 76%. So yeah, it was a little bit stressful. But yeah, I think I managed it well. Could have got a puncture, but yeah, it went well. Luckily.
Have you got anything, Austin?
Yes, I do. Matthijs, this is the first time that we get to speak to you this season. I told you before, I think at some point the CRG Matthijs that we all know, the Onyx, is going to be back. Is this the moment now that CRG Matthijs is finally back?
Yeah, hopefully. I think, yeah, the turning point from my shit cycle was like 2 weeks ago, I think. Front row start again at Russia, and then yeah, started enjoying the game again because of decent results, and then today I win. It's very good.
Yeah, and you're jumping about 5 people in the standings as well. Let me just quickly get that up here to see. how many people you are. You're jumping to. Okay, I was a little bit overzealous there, but you're jumping to now up to P9 in the standings, 34 points. What would be, with 3 races left, sort of a realistic goal for you in the championship?
Nah, to be fair, the goal was to win it. But yeah, just been a very bad season. Also in challenges, results haven't been great. So was the pace. But I think now I'm getting up to pace again, especially in the real sessions. This season, I don't really care if I finish 7th or 9th. It's all not what I want.
Yeah, it needs to be said, you are one of many drivers who are still, despite your win today, mathematically eliminated from championship contention. Only
Yeah.
the top 7 in the standings, and Gamer needs to have a lot happen in P7 in the standings right now in order to still win the championship over Sparks. I mean, that's mathematically borderline impossible. But you're looking forward to next season then, and trying to bring back the results that we saw from you in season 26.
Yeah, hopefully. I hope to be in the top positions then again to yeah get myself in the picture again.
All right, thank you very much, and congrats on the win again.
Thank you.
All right, then we've got the second place driver as well. Here we've got Vasta Racer. And to be honest, we were 100% sure your tires were going to explode. How on earth did you get to the end of that one?
Yeah, I don't know. Like the last lap, I wanted to get Onyx, but like when I looked at my tires, it was like 82 or something, and then I just thought, yeah, just keep second place and just keep calm, not risk anything, and yeah. So I took the last lap pretty cautiously.
Yeah,
Gotta
you
say,
fin-
well, actually, sorry, I'll
no,
say more
I was just
quickly.
gonna say you finished on 83% with your front left tire. Crazy. Sorry, I won't go
Just
ahead.
want to, I would like to praise you for your qualifying lap as well. I gotta say that was absolutely alien. I don't know how you did that one because that surprised us a lot on the stream to see you go quarter second ahead, and it just held the whole session. So it was a good quality lap as well.
Yeah, the first 2 sectors weren't too great, and then I just thought, like, just risk everything in the last sector, and so I did a really good last sector.
Right, Austin, you got anything?
Yeah, with all the tire drama, I think we've gone over that time and time again now on the stream. But I want to bring it back to lap 1, turn 1. Obviously, you had Matthijs on your inside and got a little bit of oversteer coming out of turn 1. Is that ultimately what basically lost you this race and got you second place, or do you think you could have gained it back elsewhere? And like, how was there any chance for you to win this race past lap 1, turn 1?
I don't know, like in the pits, I think I got a little bit held off by Juiced, but I got back in DRS, but maybe in the last couple of laps because I saved a lot of ERS, but yeah, I don't know, like turn 1, my start was pretty good, but unfortunately I braked a little bit too late and then accelerated on the curb, which is not nice. And that ultimately lost, I think, the most part.
Yeah. And then another thing I'm looking at right now, this is your second podium. Both times you were second place. The other race was obviously in Italy. Do you think at some point in the last 3 races there's a win possible for you? Because we haven't seen you on the top step yet. You think that's possible?
Yeah, of course, but like, if I keep doing this and just have maybe a bit more luck and do a better start, then I think it's clearly possible. But like the first races, I didn't have that much motivation, which is shown by the results. But I think for the last, how many races are left?
3.
Yeah, for the last 3 races, I think I will just send it and hope I can get 1 or more wins.
All right. Then congratulations on your second place. And Owen?
Right, well, we've got the third place driver as well today. And you know, I got to apologize. We didn't really mention you too much in the stream, but you absolutely nailed it on the strategy today as well. You pitted with the others around you, Mattis and Fast Racer, and you went from 9th straight up to 4th from that. So that already made your race pretty well. So were you happy with that strategy? Were you always going to go with that? And was there any sort of pressure from the tires for you as well?
Yeah, I was going in pit lap 9 or 8, I'm not sure. And I had nothing to lose, so. And then I undercut like 3 people, and then saving my tires to the end and don't get a puncture.
Yeah, and what happened with Timon then? Because we saw he was having some sort of drama. I think that's how you got past him. What actually happened there? Was he trying to go for a move, or were you just passing him legit?
I have more ERS, so I thought I can overtake him. So and he was going to the left pretty late, and then he hit me, or I don't know what happened, and he goes in the back of Faster Racer and spun. But I'm not sure what happened there. But
Okay, Austin.
I'm looking right now. Juice, you are now second in the championship. You have overtaken both Wouters and Timon, are 4 points ahead of both of them, but also 29 points behind Sparks. With 3 races left, you're still in championship contention, but 29 points is quite a big gap. Do you think you'll be able to catch up to Sparks, or are you looking more behind and sort of looking at what Wouters and Timon are doing?
everything can happen, but I think it's really difficult to overtake Sparks in championship. But I want to keep second place in the championship, so I want to keep the guys behind.
All right. Then, once again, congratulations on your third place.
Thank you.
And I think with that, we're moving all 3 back to the waiting room where they can talk to each other. If they want to. No, it's a nice, just like in real life where they have a little chat afterwards, before the podium celebration, where they have a little chat. Let's put them there so they can talk to each other. And they are doing that right now. So, we don't want to listen in because, that's we don't have the technology for that really. Yeah, we are quickly just gonna look at what's to come. And that is, of course, we're going to stay on the American continent. And we're just going to go a little further down south. We're going to Mexico. And that will all kick off tomorrow with the Formula Performance. And we will be back with the PSGL F1 here next Monday. That is February 22nd at 8 p.m. UK, 9 p.m. Central European. I'm looking forward to these last 3 races. Mexico, the long straights, it shouldn't be too crazy overtaking maneuvers, but there should be a lot of them. And then, of course, Abu Dhabi and Japan. I mean, Japan is just it's a driver's favorite. It's a fan favorite. To end the season on that, I'm looking forward to that very much. But yeah, we'll be back next Monday, February 22nd, 8 p.m. UK for the PSGL F1 Season 27 Mexican Grand Prix. The last quarter of the season will start next Monday. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.